Is Giannis Antetokounmpo secretly preparing to abandon ship in Milwaukee, leaving behind the only NBA home he's ever known? Imagine this. A franchise superstar, seemingly loyal, suddenly finds himself trapped in a financial disaster thanks to a failed trade and playoff embarrassment, and rumors of his departure start swirling faster than ever. Meanwhile, a shocking trade sends Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis switching teams, shaking up the league in ways no one predicted. And let's not forget, in San Antonio, a rising star named Victor Wembanyama has the city electrified. But could all this excitement be just empty hype? Buckle up, because the NBA landscape as you know it is about to shift dramatically. And the stories behind these blockbuster moves are far more complicated and controversial than you've heard. For nearly a decade, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks have been inseparable. He's been their hero, their centerpiece, bringing home the ultimate prize, an NBA championship. But recently, whispers have grown louder, suggesting that Milwaukee's golden era might be fading faster than anyone expected. Reports indicate multiple NBA teams are closely watching Giannis, quietly preparing massive trade packages. But why now? 2 straight years of playoff disappointment have sent shockwaves through Milwaukee, and patience seems to be running dangerously thin. Giannis, once fiercely loyal, now finds himself facing an uncomfortable truth. His prime years could be slipping away on a team that seems stuck, unable to reclaim past glory. The Bucks roster hasn't significantly improved. Finances are tighter than ever, and Giannis's frustration has started to leak into headlines everywhere. But how did Milwaukee fall into this dire situation so quickly? The answer lies in a trade gamble gone catastrophically wrong. A gamble involving none other than Damian Lillard. And the disastrous aftermath of that decision could end up costing the Bucks everything, including their franchise. 2 years ago, Milwaukee believed Damian Lillard was the missing piece, the star who would pair perfectly with Giannis and bring multiple championships back to the city. Fans celebrated the bold move, thinking they'd just secured their dynasty. But the reality turned shockingly sour, faster than anyone could have predicted. Instead of glory, Milwaukee faced immediate playoff humiliation. Back-to-back first-round exit, leaving everyone stunned. Worse still, Lillard's enormous contract quickly became a financial anchor, weighing down the Bucks' payroll and ultimately crippling their flexibility. Eventually, Milwaukee had no choice but to buy out his massive deal, leaving them paying millions for a player who wouldn't even step foot on the court. Now, the Bucks are stuck in NBA purgatory, still good enough to make the playoffs, yet nowhere near contending for a title. With salary cap nightmares, limited trade assets, and their hands tied financially, Milwaukee's championship dreams have turned into a nightmare scenario. But just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, Milwaukee's latest roster moves proved they might be even more desperate than anyone realized. With their backs against the wall, the Bucks scrambled for a quick fix, swapping Brook Lopez for Miles Turner. A move that has divided NBA fans and analysts alike. On the surface, Turner seems like an intriguing addition. Younger, athletic, and known for his defensive presence. But is this a genuine upgrade, or just another desperation play? Critics argue the Bucks aren't addressing the real issue, depth and chemistry around Giannis, and instead are simply rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship. Milwaukee has zero control over their first-round draft picks until 2031. Limiting their ability to reload or improve through trades. Worse yet, the enormous financial obligations left over from the Damian Lillard disaster have severely restricted their spending options, trapping them in mediocrity. Meanwhile, Giannis isn't getting younger. At 31 years old, his incredible physical style of play might soon start to decline, placing even greater urgency on the Bucks to compete right now. The clock isn't just ticking, it's nearly running out. The question everyone's asking: how much longer will Giannis accept this uncertainty before deciding to take matters into his own hands? The answer might be coming much sooner, and more dramatically than anyone expects. But as Milwaukee struggles to hold their franchise together, something entirely different is brewing down in San Antonio, where hype and hope are reaching unprecedented height. Right now, San Antonio is buzzing. Fans believe they've struck gold with Victor Wembanyama, a once-in-a-generation talent whose combination of size, skill, and athleticism has the entire NBA holding its breath. But here's the harsh truth nobody wants to talk about yet. Is this Spurs excitement based on reality? Or are fans blindly buying into an unproven fantasy? Wembanyama certainly dazzles on paper, but the Spurs roster around him raises big red flag. De'Aaron Fox, while explosive, has consistently struggled from beyond the arc, hitting just 31% of his threes last season. Rookie Stephen Castle's shooting was even worse, at an alarmingly poor 28%. Even Wembanyama himself only connected on about 35% of his long-range shots, making San Antonio's court spacing problematic at best. Critics argue that the hype might overshadow reality, as this Spurs team risks becoming dangerously predictable and easy to defend. Poor shooting could suffocate driving lanes, forcing Wembanyama into tougher situations and creating offensive stagnation. Still, there's undeniable upside. Young talents like Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan, and Keldon Johnson have shown promising flashes. But will this potential actually translate into wins? Or will the Spurs' secret weapon turn out to be more hype than substance? As San Antonio gambles on potential, another shocking move across the league has left fans stunned, questioning whether two NBA powerhouses just sabotage their own futures. To combat these glaring concerns, the Spurs didn't just sit back. They boldly drafted Dylan Harper, injecting fresh creativity and desperately needed playmaking into their backcourt. On paper, Harper might just be the spark San Antonio needs to ignite their offense. But can a rookie really make that big of a difference? Or is this another hopeful gamble destined to fall short? Harper brings playmaking abilities the Spurs severely lacked last season, particularly when veteran Chris Paul wasn't running the offense. The addition seems promising, especially for a team hungry to break into playoff relevance. But many experts wonder if relying heavily on a rookie for immediate success might be setting up unrealistic expectations. San Antonio fans are understandably excited. After all, recent history has shown explosive leaps from rebuilding teams. Just look at Houston last year. Yet, skeptics argue the Spurs are getting carried away, prematurely crowning themselves playoff contenders in a brutally competitive Western Conference. This tension between hope and reality sets the stage for one of the NBA's most fascinating storylines this season. Will the Spurs prove their doubters wrong and rise to the occasion, or collapse under the weight of their own expectations? But while San Antonio wrestles with expectations, another NBA blockbuster has shaken the league to its core, forcing two of the game's biggest stars into an uncertain future. In a stunning twist that few saw coming, Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis swapped teams, shaking up the foundations of both the Lakers and Mavericks franchises overnight. Fans on both sides were left speechless, questioning the logic behind a move that appeared more desperate than strategic. But behind the flashy headlines and bold statements, what's the real story, and which franchise truly came out ahead? For Dallas, this trade felt like an all-or-nothing gamble. Pairing Anthony Davis with an aging and injury-ravaged roster, featuring Kyrie Irving attempting a risky comeback from an ACL tear, and Klay Thompson, whose peak years have clearly faded, was a risky proposition from day one. Losing Luka, one of the league's brightest young stars, might have cost them their entire future, leaving the Mavericks' hopes hanging by a thread, dependent solely on lottery luck. On the flip side, the Lakers now have Luka Doncic, an absolute superstar entering his prime at just 26. But despite this incredible talent, immediate success isn't guaranteed. Critics have highlighted glaring roster gaps, suggesting the Lakers could struggle to compete in a stacked Western Conference, at least initially. Still, with Doncic in purple and gold, the Lakers secured the franchise's long-term future, positioning themselves to thrive beyond the looming post-LeBron era. Yet, not everyone believes the Lakers' future is as secure as it seems. In fact, some experts fear both franchises may have sacrificed too much, ultimately destabilizing their rosters in pursuit of immediate glory. But if both teams are taking risks this massive, could it mean the trade is destined to fail on both ends? Or will history prove one franchise made a career-defining mistake? For the Lakers, trading for Luka Doncic wasn't just about immediate success. It was about securing the franchise's future after LeBron James. On paper, Doncic seems like the perfect cornerstone, a generational talent entering the prime of his career. But behind the excitement, whispers of doubt linger. Can Luka really thrive surrounded by an imperfect roster? Or has LA simply repeated past mistakes? While some fans celebrate Doncic's arrival, skeptics question whether the Lakers sacrificed too much stability, depth, and immediate competitiveness. Losing Anthony Davis weakened their already thin defensive lineup, and without proven support, Luka faces immense pressure to carry the franchise alone. Critics argue that in chasing a new superstar, the Lakers may have unintentionally set themselves up for short-term frustration. Still, others point out the alternative. A Lakers future without LeBron was previously bleak, uncertain, and directionless. Now, with Doncic in purple and gold, at least there's hope. Something tangible to build around long-term. This controversial move might not guarantee instant championships, but it could lay the foundation for a new era of Lakers dominance. But as the Lakers and Mavericks grapple with the consequences of their bold trade, one question echoes across the NBA landscape. Did both franchises recklessly gamble away their futures, or could these dramatic risks actually pay off? And speaking of risks, what if these blockbuster moves are just the tip of the iceberg for an NBA landscape that's only getting more unpredictable? As the NBA continues to reshape itself in shocking ways, one truth remains clear. Bold moves carry massive consequences. Whether it's Giannis contemplating his uncertain future in Milwaukee, the Spurs betting big on young talent, or the Lakers and Mavericks risking everything on franchise-altering trades, each decision sends ripples throughout the league. But the real intrigue isn't just in the moves themselves, it's in their aftermath. Will Milwaukee find a way to salvage Giannis's loyalty, or are they destined to lose their greatest star? Can the Spurs overcome their shooting struggles and prove their hype real, or crumble under unrealistic expectations? And perhaps most dramatically, have the Lakers and Mavericks just reshaped their legacies, or destroyed them entirely? In a league built on surprises, these high-stakes gambles keep fans hooked, eager to see which teams soar and which fall apart. But one thing is certain, the NBA's next chapters will be even more dramatic and unpredictable than ever before.